my 16th birthday. I was on pace to getting my learner's permit to drive, Paul. And the Canucks, they decided to give me a late birthday present, big 4-3 overtime win against the dreaded Pittsburgh Penguins. But something happened in this game, Paulie. What happened?
That was the notorious Chris Levesque on the bench. Johan Hedberg breaks his hand coming way out of his net for no reason on a break early in the game.
Johan Hedberg was a pretty active goaltender. He liked to get out of his crease.
Here's a chance out to challenge Hedberg. Oh, my goodness.
I went to Johan Hedberg and I said, look, we got this kid. He's a college kid. I certainly don't want to see him play, so stay in the paint.
Here comes Hedberg. Oh, my goodness. Hedberg is hurt. And the backup is a UBC goaltender named Chris Levesque.
It was an incredible collision. And immediately our heads turned to Chris and everything went just totally silent.
It's half like, oh my God, this kid's got to play, and half, I'm going to kill this Swede when I get my hands on him.
Yeah, E-Bug this is the year of the 2019-2020, or at least 2020 was year of the E-Bug. And the Canucks needed one, and I was always curious. I was doing my research today that this was Chris Levesque was the third string goalie for the UBC Thunderbirds, and I had no idea that there were I was like, why did they get this guy? They had two goalies ahead of him, Robert Filk and Kevin Swanson, but I guess they had played in the dub or something.
They had played in the dub, which is considered semi-professional.
Yeah, because at $250 a week or whatever they're making, that just really throws
That's
a wrench.
That's why you can't run over to the NCAA after you play for the Giants.
That's true. So they had to get this guy, and he was famously studying for a test in the UBC library. And the Thunderbirds goaltending coach was at the practice when it was a game day morning skate, where Kluche went down with a groin injury, and Alex Auld and the Moose were unavailable, so they needed to get somebody. And the Thunderbirds coach was there, and he's like, well, I know a guy. So, if it was a more interesting story, if he came in and David Ayres it, there'd be a movie, and there'd be a delightful scene where somebody's running through the big library at UBC trying to tell him, it's like, you gotta get your pads, Chris, you gotta get your pads. So he came in.
Who's his friend telling him to do this?
Jimmy Stewart's great-grandson.
Okay.
You gotta get your pads, Chrissy. They need you down at the Rogers, the GM.
Kluche can't play, and Hedberg might break his hand tonight. Who knows? That was actually the game after the game where Hedberg let in one of the first, if not the first shot of the night after having pizza with me. So, I mean, that whole week after he hung out with old PMAC was just hell for the poor man. That would have been his chance to take the reins of the Canucks that year and lead them to a Stanley Cup.